Hi, everybody. My name is Gretchen Skratsky, and I'm a core adjunct professor for National University. I have been teaching online courses for them for the last 5 years. And one of my most favorite courses to teach is ITL 608 because it allows you to really analyze and delve into the Common Core State Standards for English Language Arts and Math. And then it also teaches you how to unpack a standard so that you know exactly what parts students should know and be able to do. So I am going to lead you through unpacking a standard today. The standard is RL, or Reading Literacy 1.7. So it is a first grade standard. And the standard states, use illustrations and details in a story to describe its characters, setting, or events. So I'm going to break up this standard here into three different parts for right now. The first part is performance. So what are students going to be able to do? They're going to describe a story's characters, setting, or events. The condition is that teacher will read aloud a reading selection, and then the criterion is students will fill out the graphic organizer below to describe the characters, setting, or events that occurred in the story. So from that, I can come up with an example objective. The objective could be illustrate and give details about a story's characters, setting, and events. And with that being said, I can also create a learning target. So the target is, I will use illustrations and details in a story to describe its characters, setting, and events using a graphic organizer. This I recommend you write on the whiteboard and you go over it with your students before you start the lesson. So a little bit more goes into unpacking the standard because you want to be able to really understand the standard and then what you need to do to make sure that you get the student learning outcome that you want. So here you will find four different columns. The first column is prior knowledge. So with that being said, what you want to do with your students is you want to stimulate prior knowledge of the topic at hand. You're going to also explain the why of the lesson and relate the concept to real life. So with that being said, what they should already know is what character, setting, and events mean in relation to stories. So then you're going to go a little bit more into it, and you're going to continue unpacking the standard. So you're going to break this section up into two parts. One is nouns and one is verbs. So what are students going to know or learn, and what are they going to be able to do? So what are the nouns in this standard? Well, the nouns are characters, setting, and events. So what you want to do is you want to consider front-loading or previewing these nouns with your English learners, and then you want to provide repetition of words or these words by repeating them frequently during the lesson. So the verb section is what action words describe what students will be able to do. You're going to front load these words and you're going to provide repetition just like you do with the nouns. So the verbs that students should know are identify and describe. So you want to make sure students know what it means to identify and then describe. So here you have the materials, tools, strategies, and questions that you will ask and use throughout your lesson. So items you and your students are going to use in the lesson would be here. Any technology that you'll use in the lesson. Of course, you always want to introduce the title and the author of the selection and go a little bit more into it and speculate as to why the author wrote the selection. So what will be used during the lesson is a story. Most likely it's going to be a fictional text and then a graphic organizer. And then some questions that you might ask are, who are the characters? And where is the story taking place? What are some details about the story? So then your student learning outcome will be that students will be able to create or fill in a graphic organizer that depicts students' understandings of the character, setting, and events in the story. So that's a little bit about how you can unpack a standard to really analyze it and delve into it so that you make sure that students are learning the standard appropriately, and that you are teaching it appropriately as well. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.